Be me. Name is Rebecca. 38 years old, senior marketing director from Seattle. Been working in tech for 15 years, climbing the corporate ladder. Always felt like I was fighting against systemic barriers. Dealing with mansplaining, glass ceilings, pay gaps, all of it. Spent years reading about how Nordic countries do it right. Gender equality rankings always show them at the top. Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland leading the world. I dreamed about working somewhere that actually valued women. Then I got a job offer from a tech company in Stockholm. Director of marketing, competitive salary, relocation package. Immediately said yes, this was my chance. Moving to the feminist paradise I'd read about for years. My friends threw me a going-away party. Everyone saying how lucky I am, how progressive Sweden is. One friend gave me a book about Swedish feminism. Another joked that I'd never want to come back. I believed them, packed my life into boxes. Landed in Stockholm on a gray November morning. Company set me up in a nice apartment in Södermalm. Started work the following Monday at their downtown office. First day, and I immediately noticed something. The office is beautiful, modern, everyone's friendly. But when I look around the marketing department, it's almost all women, maybe 15 women and 2 men. I go to meet the engineering team, next floor up. Almost all men, maybe 20 men and 3 women. Check out the leadership floor executive offices. Mostly men, a few women in HR and communications. This looks familiar, like every American company I've worked at. My boss Anna is Swedish, been with the company 8 years. She's warm and welcoming, shows me around. Explains the Swedish work culture during our first meeting. We value work-life balance here, she says. Nobody works past 5. We take our full lunch breaks. Parents leave early for daycare pickup. Totally normal. This sounds amazing, exactly what I wanted. Week 1, and I'm adjusting to the culture. Everyone's polite, professional, speaks perfect English. But something feels off that I can't quite identify. The women in marketing are all talented and competent, but none of them seem interested in moving up. I ask Anna about leadership pipeline for women. She explains that Swedish women value balance. Many choose not to pursue executive roles because of family priorities and lifestyle preferences. But isn't that what we're trying to change, I ask. Shouldn't we be encouraging women to aim higher? Anna looks at me strangely. We don't push people toward roles they don't want. If someone wants leadership, they pursue it. If they prefer work-life balance, that's equally valid. This feels wrong to me, but I'm too new to push. Month 2, and I start noticing more patterns. The women leave at 4 to pick up kids. The men often stay until 5 or 6. Not because they're forced to, but because they can. Their wives are home with the kids. I bring this up in a team meeting. Suggest we rotate pickup duties or discuss flexibility. Everyone looks confused. One woman says her husband works longer hours, so she handles most childcare. It works for them. Another agrees, says her partner's career is more demanding. So she took a step back. It's her choice. I'm sitting there thinking this is exactly what we fight against. Women's choices being constrained by societal expectations. But nobody else seems bothered by it. Month 3, and I'm invited to a company leadership summit. Excited to finally be in rooms where decisions get made. Get there, and it's 30 people, about 25 men and 5 women. The women are all in communications, HR, or admin roles. No women from product, engineering, or finance leadership. I raise this during the diversity session. Point out that we're missing women's voices in key decisions. The head of HR, a Swedish man named Lars, responds. We hire and promote based on merit and interest. Women are welcome in all roles, but many prefer people-focused work. Men tend to gravitate toward technical and business roles. It's about individual choice, not discrimination. I push back, but aren't these choices shaped by bias? Shouldn't we be actively working to change these patterns? Lars looks genuinely confused. We have generous parental leave, flexible schedules. Women have every opportunity men have. If they choose different paths, that's equality. I leave the summit frustrated. This is supposed to be the feminist paradise. But it looks like 1950s America with better healthcare. Start researching the data about Nordic gender equality. Find out that occupational segregation is actually worse here. Women dominate care, education, and health sectors. Men dominate tech, engineering, and business. The wage gap for full-time workers is smaller than America. But women work fewer hours and cluster in lower-paying sectors. So the overall economic gap is significant. I bring this up with Anna over coffee. Show her the statistics about occupational segregation. She listens patiently, then responds. Rebecca, I understand this looks problematic to you. But you're viewing it through an American lens. Here we believe in actual choice. If women choose care work and men choose tech, that's not inequality, that's freedom. But are they really choosing, I ask? Or are they being channeled by subtle expectations? Anna sighs, this is where Americans always get confused. We've removed the barriers, created the support systems. Women can do anything men can do here. Many just don't want to, and that's okay. This conversation bothers me for days. Everything I believed about Nordic feminism is being challenged. 6 months in, and I'm seeing the full picture now. Yes, parental leave is generous, 480 days split between parents. But mothers take 70% of it. Because they earn less, so financially it makes sense. Which keeps them earning less, perpetuating the cycle. Yes, childcare is subsidized and accessible. But it's staffed almost entirely by women. Reinforcing the idea that care work is women's work. Yes, women are in parliament and government. But private sector leadership is still male-dominated. The public sector is where women thrive, which pays less than private sector. I start speaking up more in meetings, challenging assumptions, pushing for change, suggesting we actively recruit women into technical roles. The response is always the same polite resistance. We tried that, women weren't interested. We can't force people into careers they don't want. We respect individual choice here. Month 8, and I'm having dinner with Swedish friends. 3 women I've met through work and social events. I bring up my frustrations about workplace gender dynamics. One of them, Karen, is a teacher. She says she chose teaching because she loves working with children. Could have done engineering, she was good at math. But teaching felt more meaningful to her. Another, Lisa, is a nurse. Says she makes decent money, has great work-life balance. Doesn't understand why I think she should want corporate leadership. The third, Emma, is in HR. Says she values flexibility over high pay. Her husband is a software engineer, makes more. But she has time for their kids, feels fulfilled. I realize these are all educated, capable women, making choices I'd call settling in America. But they seem genuinely happy. They ask me about my experience. I tell them how I fought for every promotion, worked 60-hour weeks, sacrificed relationships, all to break through barriers and prove women can lead. They look at me with something like pity. Karen asks, but are you happy? The question hits harder than it should. I make good money, have an impressive title, but I'm single, exhausted, constantly angry. Moved to another country to escape barriers. Only to find different barriers I don't know how to fight. Month 10, and something shifts in me. I start actually listening instead of just pushing. Talking to the women in my office about their lives. One has 3 kids, leaves at 4 every day. Has time for family dinners, helps with homework. Her husband works longer hours, earns more. But she says she wouldn't trade places. Another is pursuing a master's degree part-time. Company supports it. Flexible schedule makes it possible. She's not racing up the ladder. She's building skills. At her own pace, on her own terms. I realize these women aren't victims. They're not brainwashed by patriarchy. They're making choices based on what they value. And what they value isn't what I was taught to value. Year mark hits, and I'm having my annual review. Anna tells me I'm doing great work, but suggests I might be happier in a different environment. The American corporate hustle culture isn't really compatible with Swedish values. She's not firing me, just being honest. I've been pushing for competition and ambition, when the culture here values cooperation and balance. That night, I really reflect on the past year. I came here expecting feminist paradise, where women run everything and men do their share. Instead, found a place where women and men choose different paths that lead to different outcomes. And nobody sees that as a problem to solve. The Nordic model gives everyone options: generous leave, flexible work, strong safety nets. But it doesn't eliminate preferences or outcomes gaps. It just makes different choices equally viable. I start thinking about what equality actually means. Is it 50-50 representation in every field? Or is it genuine freedom to choose without barriers? America focuses on breaking into male-dominated spaces. Nordic countries focus on making all spaces valued. Neither has achieved perfect equality. Just different versions of the same struggles. Month 14, and I make a decision. I'm moving back to America. Not because Sweden failed me, but because I finally understand what I actually want. I want the ambition, the competition, the climb. I want corporate leadership more than work-life balance. That's my choice, and it's valid. But so is choosing teaching, nursing, part-time work. As long as those choices are genuinely free. My going-away party is smaller than my arrival. Anna tells me she's not surprised I'm leaving. Says Americans often struggle with Swedish contentment. You're taught to always want more, she says. We're taught to be satisfied with enough. Neither is wrong, just different. Last week in Stockholm, and I visit a feminist bookstore. Find a book about Nordic feminism written in English. Read about how their model prioritizes care work, values reproduction and child rearing as essential, pays for it through taxes, supports it through policy. Doesn't push women into male patterns of work, but elevates feminine patterns to equal importance. It's a completely different framework than American feminism. Not about breaking glass ceilings, but about making the ground floor equal to the top floor. I buy the book, bring it back to Seattle. Back in my old apartment back in corporate America. But seeing everything differently now. American feminism tells women to compete like men. Nordic feminism tells everyone to choose their path. Both have merit, both have limitations. I'm working at a new company now, fast-paced startup. Long hours, high pressure, constant competition. Everything I missed about American work culture. But I noticed things I didn't before. How many women burn out trying to do it all. How the successful ones often sacrifice personal lives. How we celebrate women who work like men, but question men who want work-life balance. My coworker asks me about Sweden one day. Isn't it like perfect for women there? I think about how to answer honestly. It's different, I say. They've made it possible to choose balance over ambition. But most women choose balance, which means men still dominate leadership, just with less guilt about it. She looks disappointed. So it's not actually equal. Depends how you define equal, I tell her. If equal means identical outcomes, then no. If equal means genuine choice without penalty, maybe closer. Still processing it myself, honestly. Year later, I'm at a Women in Tech conference. Someone asks me about gender equality in Scandinavia. I give a more nuanced answer now. They've eliminated many barriers we still have. Healthcare, childcare, parental leave, social safety nets. But they haven't eliminated different preferences. And their solution is to make different choices equally viable. Not to push everyone toward the same choices. Someone asks if that's enough. I don't know, I admit. It's more honest than America's approach. But it leads to segregated outcomes. Maybe there's no perfect system. Just different trade-offs. That evening I text Anna in Stockholm. Thank her for the experience and the honesty. She responds, "You understand now. American feminism wants women to win the men's game. Swedish feminism wants to change what winning means." Both are trying to solve the same problem, just from opposite directions. I save that text, think about it often. Anyway, that's my story about moving to Scandinavia expecting equality paradise and learning that equality is more complicated than rankings. They've created systems that support different choices, but haven't eliminated different choices being made. And maybe that's okay. Maybe freedom means accepting different outcomes, as long as the opportunities are genuinely equal. Still figuring out what I believe, but at least now I ask better questions.